Jeffrey had his little shades on and he's rocking out in the middle of New York. And I'm like, this makes me happy.
This makes me
Of
happy.
course, I'm standing there like dancing in my pajamas when I should be finishing up the desserts I'm making. Just bounce around, and my daughter's like, this is kind of good. And I'm like, yes, this is great. And my son's going like, y'all are weird. I'm like,
with him.
Clearly, you do not appreciate,
No, I don't. It's an acquired taste, kind of like Xander. Xander is most definitely an acquired taste.
I don't know, man. Some tastes you're not supposed to acquire.
Well, and he says he's winning. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what that means.
So did Charlie Sheen, and look how it worked out for him.
I think that was the whole point.
Oh dear.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Oh dear.
He says V is muted. And there's no sound. She's
I
not
hear her.
muted.
Y'all can hear me.
I hear her just fine.
Mm-hmm.
The name is Ghosty is here. Hello. You have no interest in tasting Xander.
No.
Well, Rick, I can understand that.
No.
I have
Can't
a
touch
cat
that.
on my desk, and he won't leave my
There's a
keyboard
5-minute moratorium before going into After Dark. Gosh darn it. No.
Gosh darn it. Will you stop knocking stuff off my desk? We're live. He doesn't care.
That's why he's doing it.
Pretty much. It's all Xander's fault anyway. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what'd you have for turkey, man? What'd you have for Turkey Day? What'd you have for turkey?
We had
Yeah, what'd you have for Turkey Day?
there was turkey. There was cornbread stuffing, which is not stuffed into the turkey but baked on the side with from scratch cornbread. I will die on that hill. Sweet potatoes. There were mashed potatoes, rolls. Somebody made a salad, which I did not take. Cranberry relish, homemade cranberry relish. And then desserts were pecan pie bars, lemon bars, millionaire shortbread bars, cranberry walnut bars, and apple cobbler.
Wow.
Yes, I sent
That's a lot of stuff.
I sent both of my my sons home with like the big rectangular Tupperware containers of desserts because I did not need that much in my house.
This is the way.
Yes, and if they say that's a lot of bars, well, it made more sense to do bars than pies because you can stack bars on a plate. And, it doesn't look so bad. And plus, it's easier to have those with coffee. Because pie, just like you fill up the whole plate and then you can't carry it. Bars are more portable.
I'm afraid I'm sorry I asked.
I like cooking. I like baking. So.
You like doing all that kind of stuff?
I do. I am totally the person who is like, we usually do Christmas dinner at my house and I will happily kick everybody out. And as long as there's something like some football that I can hear on the TV, I am happy just baking stuff up and getting stuff ready. And yeah.
Terry, what about you?
We went out to Luby's.
So you had the spread there.
That's correct. We went out with my wife's oldest and had lunch out. So that was our Thanksgiving.
That sounds like a good way to do it.
I thought it was. Worked out just fine.
Yeah, we just got a turkey and some ham, took it to my parents' place and rented out one of the rooms or checked out one of the rooms in the facility and used that for everything. And my wife and my sister brought all the sides and desserts and it was nuts. It was good. I probably gained 10 pounds. So anyway, I just wanted to ask. I was curious. And now that we know all of everybody's culinary desires, Let me try that again.
You
You know what? I'm just going to give up. Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Robot Society. I am Paul E. I'm stuttering like a fool coolly. And joining me today, as always, Veronica Jaguar and Terry Mixon. I'd ask how the hell you were, but I think we found out how you are. You ate too much food. You passed out in the chair. And, woke up 2 days later like a bear coming out of hibernation. Is that how that worked?
I may have lived in my pajamas all day yesterday. So and did I tell people that there are plenty of leftovers? Go fend for yourselves. Absolutely. Am I going to do that tonight? Probably.
No. No, you wouldn't do that, would you?
She absolutely
No, I totally
would do that.
Totally would.
Probably not.
Why are you guys... Okay, I normally keep it in the other corner. I don't know why it has moved. And I don't know why this is suddenly a problem anyway. Get off my ass. I'll figure out how to change it later.
People want to see that corner of my office. Trust me, there's nothing there.
Well, if I moved it down there, then it wouldn't be in your frame. It would be on the background frame, I think is what they're complaining about. And I understand. I'll figure it out. Just not while we're doing this. I didn't even notice till now. You want to see the nutcracker. You have no interest in my ass? Rick, you've seen my ass. How can you not have interest in my ass? That's most of my personality.
This is not after dark. I'm just going to put that out
well, okay,
there right
that's
now.
5 minutes, so.
Well, V, what the hell have you been up to creatively?
Creatively, let's see. I did the math. I got to finish this first draft by December 31st. And if I can do 4,000 words a week, then I will do it. So I still have to get today's quota done. But I'm on track to finish it. So that's nice. I found out where the audio rights are going for the book that I'm writing with Misty. I will not say because it's probably not public knowledge yet.
Classified.
Yeah. But my name has been passed along as someone who would really like to narrate it. I can safely say that if somehow I don't get it, I will be upset. I will be crying into a pillow. I will say that right now.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. I'm happy it means that much to you because I know how cool that would be.
Yes, but I will be upset. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can prove I can narrate space opera.
I think you may in fact have some chops there.
No, her bona fides are very suspect. I mean, look at the author she's been working with on that particular score. The primary author with 30 freaking books.
Who knows? So there's been that. Working on other projects. Yeah, I'm pretty much trying to focus on this one thing, and then ask me about the appointment that I have later this week because it actually ties into our show topic.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, but yeah, other than that, I've just been trying to get words down, trying to hustle for work. That's been my jam.
Well, Terry, what do you know?
I know that I've been working hard and hardly working and all of those things in between.
Wait a minute. How do you do both of those?
It's a challenge.
Yeah, I imagine so.
This has been a slow week for me because holidays and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm not stressing about it. I'll get back to the grind tomorrow. Right now, I'm just wrestling cats, keeping them off my desk.
I know the feeling. I've got one who's very, very interactive today, or at least right now. The shadow cat who's out of frame. He refuses to get into frame. But he's going to cause mischief otherwise. I had a little fever dream where I saw the next two books of the second installment of the Derelict Saga. I saw how the two books fit together. I saw how the second one needs to be written, and I think I know how the third one ends. And that's been bugging me for like 2 years now, how all that fit together. But I think I got it.
So when did this epiphany hit?
When was this? Tuesday, I guess? Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember which. Regardless, it was like an hour of me just banging out notes and banging out notes and banging out notes and, oh, this could happen or that could happen and oh. And I realized I'd rather be writing about my Marines right now, which is sad. Yeah, by Antoine, I had a dream proceeds to describe a nightmare. Yeah, that sounds about me. Is the third one the end or just the end for now? Well, I don't know the answer to that question.
Depends on how many bodies he has left over.
I say
And
that
anyone tries
because
to come rescue those bodies.
I say that because I still want to write the Dr. G books. There are at least 3 of those, and they would explain how the trio became the trio. It would explain a lot of things that are alluded to or hinted at, I should say, in Derelict Saga. So I would love to write a book about that little bastard. So we'll see. Body count is everything with Paul's work. Now wait a minute. That might be true. There is something about that, actually. Let's see. How many books have I written where nobody survived? Well, that's really hard to. That's really hard to quantify. I think I've got 3 where they transition. Oh my God, are you going to commit prequel? Yes, I think I'm going to commit prequel, but at the same time, it's a completely different story because it has none of those characters and it takes place 100 years before Derelict Saga. So is it really a prequel? I don't know. We'll see. Terry, what are you doing?
Picking up things that the cat's knocked over by dumping my trash can.
Clearly, there is mischief afoot in the Mixon household.
There is, in fact.
Mischief afoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Well, we do have a topic for today. No,
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
I cannot believe that.
Max Tilsley asked in, or Max Tilsley, I should say, asked in topics, are author websites important anymore? Who the hell looks at them? What are the alternatives?
If you're an author, who maintains it?
Mm-hmm.
Rationale.
Is it maintained?
I pay a couple of $100 to Squarespace each year for a website that I barely remember to update and probably has no real utility. On the other hand, I use my free online store through SquareUp.com. Yeah, confusing. That comes with a Square Reader credit card system for no additional cost. Yep. I use this for direct sale pre-orders, general orders, and in conjunction with my payment system for when I sell at conventions. Is an online store with perhaps a single page for an About the Author contact enough when there's social media? Depends. There's there's my take on that. I can't remember how much it costs, but I'm gonna show something real quick. And I'm not shilling for the company. I'm simply this was interesting. Let's see if I do this. Share screen. Allow. Where's the stupid thing? Window. There we go. Is it there? Yeah, there we go. So BookBub has a partner that just focuses on writers' websites. That's all they do. And so I went there and I tried this.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me about 5 minutes to set this up, a little bit longer to get all the graphics the way I wanted them. But it makes it very easy to basically update all your stuff. Very, very simple, one page. There's no reason why you couldn't have a store link hanging off of this, I guess. Mm. So this is very, very simple to do and makes a lot of sense if that's all you do is be a writer. That makes a lot of sense to me to have that. Unless you actually want to have descriptions of your books. In which case you've got basically the same kind of deal here that I would have on my website, or that I actually have on my website. Mm-hmm. One deal for each. So the question is, how do you get people to come here? That's the question I think you're really asking. There's a couple of ways to do it depending on what you're doing. Okay, we'll get there, Matt. We'll get there. I do podcasts. I do a couple of podcasts, in fact. This podcast I do in, shadowpublications.com podcast. I have players on my site. A lot of websites and a lot of blogs, you can't really do that. Which is why I have a custom WordPress site that I use. Let's see. Well, I hit the wrong button. Let me get this again. Window. Bang. Bang. Flip it over. Which is why I have basically a WordPress website that's got pretty much everything. It's there. My YouTube site, series and books, the whole 9 yards. I switched it to essentially be a single page. I'm not happy with it. But the way you would drive traffic to your website is by having things like this, maybe having excerpts of stories, maybe even have free stories up on your website, and then basically hawk that through your mailing list. But people are going to want to know some place for you to be on social media, which I'm not on Instagram, or really, I'm on Facebook, Mastodon, a Blue Sky, and Facebook only to administer this group, which no longer really exists. So, but shadowpublications.com has a professional page up there. I have quite a few people who follow that. So when I post news there, they see it. Same thing goes for the others, but the others give you like a landing page, but they're not really, you can't really, there's only so much you can add to the landing pages that social media gives you.
You also have a Patreon, which
yes, I also have
should
a
be
Patreon.
which should be counted in there as a website, because with the functionality that Patreon gives you, you're able to post episodes of your podcast. You're able to post excerpts. You're able to share things out.
Yeah.
And in that case, you've given people incentive to go there to consume media, and then they can subscribe for that privilege to access certain tiers.
Right. So I'm just seeing all these questions from Rick. It's not a Bootstrap module. I don't know what it is. I think it came with whatever I'm using as the theme, whose name I forget.
Yeah,
I mean, to go look.
I know. So my sites, my site and my pseudos, they use the exact same theme, and it does allow you to embed audio, because as a narrator, I have to have my samples right there on the website. But when I maintained the Sequel Chronicle page, because we had people who would listen to the podcast as stuff got released, or they would just go to the website and play it direct from the website,
right?
Which I never understood. But again, a lot of it is trying to meet your readers and listeners where they are, and everybody is at a different tech level. And I am about to sneeze. I don't want to do it into the microphone.
Thank you for that.
Right, we respect your levels and earphones. But having a website, I think, is super important, because it directs people where to go if something happens to their preferred social media venue. In this day and age, there are a lot of people who don't use certain sites or certain services because they disagree with who's running it. They don't like how it's putting out information. But you control your website.
Yes,
and
that's exactly right.
And it always helps to have a spot that you are in control of, so that if tomorrow all the social media goes, your fans can at least get your book, look at the very back, see, to learn more, go to www.
Yeah.
And then they can find you.
And the other thing is, if you have a domain that's got the email of your indie publishing company or whatever, then or your site name, that is just basically going to make you look more professional to other folks. and it'll be easier to actually find you, believe it or not. Believe it or
Yeah.
not.
If
So
you
there's,
don't have yourname.com, go get it.
yeah, go get it or something like that.
Yeah.
PaulEcooley.com just points to shadowpublications.com at this point.
Yeah.
And if I need to switch that, that's not a problem.
Yeah, VeronicaJaguar.com right now points to Voices by Veronica. And the reason I did that was because I knew that at some point I was going to need to have an author site, and my author site would need to have my name.
Right.
If at some point I need to have an overarching publisher to do that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to make enough money to do the whole LLC thing.
Yeah, don't
but
we all?
yeah, but for now, I try to keep the narrator sites separate from the writing because of
Which
the
makes
persona
sense, yeah.
I want to put out. Because my writer bio is very different from my narrator bio, which is totally different from my pseudos bio. Because
Right.
for all intents and purposes, those are 3 different brands.
Rick, I will throw a couple things in live here in a minute for your questions.
Same. I know the theme that I use on mine is Customify, which is a free WordPress theme. You can tweak a lot in it. You have to like play in it. So it does involve a lot of patience. But if you are comfortable with playing around with themes and, keeping your WordPress sites updated, I think it's great. It lets me make a very simple site for what I need to do.
Yeah, which is really all you need. I mean, most people, that's all they need. If you're just being an author, you need to talk about yourself. You need to have your books there, or at least a way for people to discover it. You should have store links. If you have your own store, like PayHip, you use PayHip or SquareUp or whatever, you should have a link there. You should have a link there that goes to your shop, and you should also, as much as possible, go ahead and pimp that. Mm-hmm. And there's ways to do that too, like custom editions. For instance, you sell from the site that aren't available on Amazon or somewhere else that basically have more material or maybe an extra story in them, something along those lines to basically differentiate them and give people a reason to come buy it from you.
Same thing if you have audio. You can.
Same thing with audio.
As long as you're not exclusive. If you go wide, you can set prices, and you get 100% of the sales from your own website.
Yeah.
Versus what you're going to get from Audible, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, etc. And again, it's doing that and then taking steps to train your readers and listeners that if they want the best deal and if they want to help you out, that's where they need to go.
Yeah, and to be honest, I haven't spent enough time on my website and my store in a long time. There are many reasons for that, most of them mental. But something I got to do to move forward, especially when we start doing next series, whatever that is, if there is a next series. I have 2 more books I promised y'all in Soul and Beyond. I'll get to them, I promise. Since I've had my fever dream, I know how everything works, and now I just have to have time to write it. Having all that in one place, making it, and there are ways like some of these themes and everything else that you have there, like the little BookBub website I showed you, it makes keeping it updated very simple. If you make templates with Elementor or something like that, you make updates very simple. Mm-hmm. And like the 2 widgets I have on there, I don't have to do anything. One of them goes and picks up the latest YouTube episode, and the other one picks up the latest podcast episode. Mm-hmm. I don't have to do anything. They automatically update. So there's ways to do things that are pretty painless. It just depends on how serious you want to get about your career. If your Instagram page is good enough for all of your stuff, or your profile page on whatever whatever social media it be, if that's all you want to do, that's fine. You just need to make sure you've got Linktree or something like that where you can add a whole bunch of links, and basically it carries around as your business card. And anytime you change links on your link tree, it automatically updates and doesn't change the link.
Or if you don't want to do a lot, just get your domain and set that front page as a link tree.
As a link tree, yeah, that works too.
Yeah, just have, want to do this, 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 and this right there. Now, if you go to Terry's site, because of the three of us, he's the most prolific and constantly putting out stuff because he's awesome like that. He's got his new releases right there.
Right.
And that's updated. And everything is sorted by series. So if you have never heard of Terry Mixon and you go, and it's like, oh, crap, where do I start? Well, stuff's organized to tell you where to start.
Yeah.
And the print's linked. The audio's linked. And it's just, it winds up being part of your, book comes out. Do this, do this, do this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
basically it turns into a little bit of a sequence where you just have to follow a certain step by step and you've got a new release out. Mm-hmm. I know Terry probably had that down pat when he was doing Empire of Bones all the time.
I did.
Well, plus Terry has his newsletter.
Which
Terry
I need to
has
be
his
more, good about actually putting out on time.
Join the club.
But still, you put it out and you direct people back to your website and the latest releases.
One of the things that I do with mine that it may just be the fact that I have to do it this way, but I think it's helpful, is because I am an Amazon affiliate, I get something from people clicking through. So any links that I have take back to my site. So as part of that 2-click to get there, they click the link, it goes to my site, and then they can click the link and go straight to there, but they have to visit my site.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
It's not too intrusive because I'm up front, I'm an affiliate, I have to point at my site, just click this other link and it takes you right there. So it's pretty straightforward. Most people don't seem to care that it's 1 click versus 2 clicks, but they've now seen my site exists, so they may be inspired to go looking at other things on my site.
Right. Which is the whole point. Mm-hmm. So in my humble estimation, do you have to have a website? No. You can can you do it just on social media alone? Probably. And maybe I'm just an old man at this point, a little grumpy in my old ways, but I'd like having a website. Even if it sucks, I like having a website.
Kids these days need to get off my internet.
That said, side question on social media, what takeaways do you think there are from storytelling that could apply to other YouTube content, even if they are not story-based? I think if you're a good storyteller, you make anecdotes fun. If you've got a personality that you can put in them, that you can step into, just like you step into writing, you've got a chance to basically tell the story and not bore the shit out of people when you're talking to them on YouTube or anything else. There are all these components. You have to get comfortable talking, you have to get comfortable speaking, and you have to get comfortable kind of going off the cuff when you have to and not get completely overwhelmed by what's going on. Transitioning to doing live, for instance, there's a lot of stupid shit that goes on in my head that I have to ignore and drown out in order to be somewhat insightful. You don't hear that most of the time because I've learned how to strangle it, at least for the live shows. But that goes back to the YouTube stuff too, is basically figuring out how to make the anecdotes or the information you're imparting use the story to do it. You know how to write a story. You are the character. Just basically describe the problem and how to solve it. Just do it in such a way that it doesn't bore the shit out of people.
Yeah. And remember that people continue reading a story for the characters. So it's giving people a reason to keep up with you or the character who is part of that bit of social media. So it's a little bit of branding, but it's also just how do you keep it's keeping people interested and doing more of a give rather than an ask, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not always like the buy my book, pay attention to me. It's what are you giving the audience? What value are you trading
Adding
for their time?
For their time, and also for them to give a shit about looking you up.
Even if it's
or
entertainment.
finding your Patreon. Yeah. I will say, if I wanted to grow my YouTube channels, this is so fucking counterintuitive. I would do advertising. As in, I would commercialize my podcast.
Become a shill for the man.
If I allowed commercials on my YouTube content, I would actually be higher in the rankings.
That's pretty much how it works with Amazon too.
And it's also how it works with Libsyn. It's a rough world out there. It's tough to have ideals. They're very costly at times. You have a choice in how you want to present yourself. You have a choice in how you want to present your material. Not everybody is going to want a YouTube channel. Not everybody can do a YouTube channel. Not everybody has the time to do a YouTube channel or come up with silly episodes or whatever else it is they want to do. If that's something you want to add to your repertoire, go for it. I figured out what I do. Does it work? Probably not. Do people buy books? Yes. That's the good news. But they could just as easily go listen to the podcast. It's just that a lot of those people have now moved to YouTube. So having the content in more places than one is better. And remember, you don't have to have videos on YouTube. You can always just sit there and make posts and maybe include the occasional video. If somebody subscribes to you, they still see the posts. Just FYI. So, let's see. Rick says, I had a reseller account for many years. Host for a few friends, help set up WordPress for them, and also self-host my newsletter. Yeah. So, do the fulfillment yourself. So I use PayHip rather than Square. I used to use Square a long time ago, but now I use PayHip because the transaction fees are much lower. They take a lower net, and you also end up with your own web page, so to speak. And then you can sell trade paperbacks that are signed, which is always fun.
How many do you sell?
Well, if I was shipped to Europe, I would probably sell about 10 or 12. Just help the people who are in the Patreon. Unfortunately, I don't ship there. I looked at what a pain in the ass it would be and like, oh God, this is so bad. What I wanted to do was ship all the books to Matt and have him sort it out, but I haven't figured out a way to do that. But I really
the easiest way to do that is just to not tell him that you're doing it and just start doing it.
Suddenly, a whole bunch of books show up at his house.
Exactly.
Here, Matt, make this happen.
Suddenly cursing. A lot of it. More so than usual.
Yes, more so than usual. What? I'm so confused. Oh, there we go. There we go. Let's see here. Window. PayHip store. So it just basically is a simple web page with all your stuff. And a little about you and everything else. And you click on the little linkies. And you go to all the information that you include. It's just basically regular store stuff. But you don't have to really do anything to make all this happen besides have some graphics and, be willing to spend the time to set it up. And it's really easy to set up and maintain. It's not really a problem. So just another reason way I do things. I still do fulfillment though. PayHip does not do fulfillment of trade paperbacks. So I do fulfillment when I'm actually in a mood to sell stuff. Which I should really do when we finally get Oceania published. If that ever fucking happens, I will run a book sale. You're in fucking teed. Let's see, I sell 1 or 2 a month. Square is convenient leaking on my POS. Do it for reasons. I sell audiobooks. I sell Derelict, the Derelict Saga, the complete Derelict Saga. That sells usually 1 a month, and that's $40. So minus whatever they're taking. I sell one of those. I usually sell some Station 3 audiobooks and some other stuff a month. I don't have to do anything. It just happens, which is the good news. So, Mrs. Matt, babe, what is this delivery? Oh. So pimp yourself. Learn how to pimp yourself. Your site is part of that. Your social media presence is part of that. And the content you put up there and represent is also part of that.
But you don't have to do everything.
But you don't have to do everything.
No, you're better off picking a couple things and focusing on them and doing them well.
And if you're really successful, you can hire a firm to do all this shit for you so you can actually just sit there and write.
Hello, James Patterson.
Hello, James Patterson.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there are folks who are certainly not as prolific or as well known as James Patterson who do that. Yeah. And sometimes it's figuring out once you get to a point where you have the income to work with a personal assistant or a virtual assistant and figuring out what do you not like to do.
Right.
And hire that out. Because you can't hire everything out all at once. That way lies madness.
No, that way is truly madness. There's no doubt about that. You don't want to do that to yourself.
No.
No, not really. Okay, so we got all that together. All right. What do you think, chat? Talk to us. What are you thinking on this particular line of problem set? This line of problem set. This particular problem set that we are trying to slay. Matt says, "Yeah, going to start pimping once I'm a bit further into content, or at least further into the swing of things." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't pimp before you got stuff to pimp. Bad things happen that way. Mm. There's several writers who can tell you all about that. I'm not going to name names. Oh. Rick says the other thread that hasn't been touched is in-person reading and events.
In connection with why you need a website or totally separate? Because you kind of made a good argument that having even just a basic website to direct people to when you meet them at in-person events, plus you have a site to sell from. And if people are like, oh, well, I wanted that book and you're out. Oh, well, you can go to my website and buy it.
Yep. If you want to do readings and events, in-person stuff, find a local bookstore. Mm-hmm. And by a local bookstore, I mean a small bookstore. I mean an independent bookstore. Mm-hmm. Because they're more likely to be receptive, but also excited or invested, so to speak. It just all depends on what your following is and how many people you think you can actually get there. So as probably all of us know, signings are hit and miss. You can have a book signing and have nobody show up. Mm-hmm. You can have a book signing and suddenly have all sorts of people show up.
All right. Obviously, the way to prevent that from happening is to hire shills to show up at your book signing so that it looks like you have people.
Yeah, that also works.
Or coordinate with several other authors so that hopefully there'll be some Venn diagram that leads to success.
Advertising on site, pitching brands, selling books. Yeah. What about it? It's easy.
Actually, so come to think of it, if you are unaware of local or local-ish bookstores, here's a fun hack to figure out where they might be. So we've talked about Libro FM. Libro FM, when you get an account and you set it up to, purchase your audiobooks through Libro FM, you can figure out which local bookstores are partnering with them because then they get a cut of those proceeds. So for example, mine actually doesn't go to a local bookstore here in town. Mine goes to a bookstore up in Jacksonville it's a bookstore and cafe that specifically deals with underserved folks in the community. And so they do fundraisers and food drives for schools and moms, and just a bunch of local resources in Jacksonville. I found them on Threads. I was like, oh, I like you guys. Click. I will make sure no stuff goes to you. But what you can do is you can go in there and see what spaces are around you. And then look them up, call them, hit them up on social media. They're like, ooh, attention? Really? This would be awesome. I found out there's a relatively new bookstore in Orlando, so about an hour from me, that focuses almost solely on romance books.
Interesting.
It won't work for the sci-fi stuff, but because there's really there's not a lot of romance in the space opera one.
Yeah.
But once I get the romance stuff out, and I want to have actual like print copies, that would be a great place to target because they have specifically said they want to work with indie authors. So figure it out, set it up, try to publicize things, see if I could get other authors that are going to be there within the same subgenres.
Yeah.
And make a day of it.
That would be a good way to do it. That'd be a good way to do it. I really haven't looked into that because most of the cool bookstores are 30 miles away from me. So I have a long drive to get there, but like Murder by the Book is
Orlando. It's an hour and a half drive. But an hour and a half drive to a major metro area where I could find new people who might want to read my stuff. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
See,
that's a little bit different.
Part of your problem, Paul, might be is you'll call somebody to arrange for something like that, and they'll say, Paul Hooley?
Yeah, exactly. What? It was nice fun.
It
Do I
was
have
a
to
good
respond
pun.
to it? Do I have to respond to that nonsense?
Sometimes a good pun is just worth it just for itself, even if there is no reaction.
The Creative Tickle says, hi, all just got here and I agree about working with local bookstores. I think they can be your savior in a lot of ways. I'm terrible about approaching people for anything. So I've never gotten involved with any of the local bookstores up here.
And if not a local bookstore, a local library.
Your local library, yeah, that too.
Yeah. I keep wondering if that's something that I want to try to do with the Brain Shift book that comes out, because I know that Bayan gives a little more leeway and encouragement, and it's not like I'm going to be able to get to any of the cons that they go to with their traveling roadshow.
Yeah.
It'd be fun, but travel. So, but looking at a library, it's an easy step, and it's a non-threatening step too, because libraries are generally not terrifying.
Librarians, not so much.
I've seen that show. It doesn't end well for anybody.
It's true.
You know, I would totally have liked to seen the Librarians TV show where some poor author got mixed up in their nonsense and dragged into it. I'm just here for a book signing, man.
What about local culture and institutes at schools academic?
Yeah. It's
Interesting side note. There's a private school up here, John Cooper, and once a year they put out a call for authors. Now, what's interesting is no independently published authors are welcome.
rude.
Indie scum.
Indie scum.
Rude.
Indie fucking scum. Really interesting that way.
In many other places, you're welcome. I mean, if there's a local college or university and they have a library, oftentimes they're looking for additional programming. So if you write a story where you can tie the setting or the conflict or some of the genre to something that's going on there, they want to work with you. You're often doing them a favor by providing another resource.
There's also authors groups at those schools, writers groups with kids and everything else, with the college folks. There's no reason why you can't also get in with them and talk to them about what's going on or kind of network with them over things. Rick says, I got linked in with a book club about 2 hours away, and they're doing a reading talk on craft along sells books. I've done 3 events with this group and sold 12 to 15 books at each event. Nice.
Yeah, it's it's trying to reach out, and from someone who hates picking up the phone and really struggles with walking up to strangers and proposing things, the worst you will get is no.
True.
No doesn't hurt in this situation. So if you get a no, that's fine. Cross it off the list and, recoup your losses and try again.
Matt says, I was going to say we're spoiled around here. Plenty of bookshops, but just checked. My favorite old bookshop my parents used to take me is now a bar nightclub. Oh, that's cool. Rick says, and now have a standing invite for each new book launch to come back. Nice.
Oh, sweet.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Good on you, bro.
Yeah. Depending upon the genre that you're in, when the weather suits you, because for many people right now, this is not a time to be outside. But looking at like craft fairs, looking at, like street vendor sorts of things, if there is an opportunity for you to have a table or share a table with, local author friends, you would be surprised at what you can do. At least one of the authors that I'm starting to work with, she writes portal fantasy, but it's like Greek and Roman mythology. Well, she goes to Ren fairs.
Yes.
And she winds up selling, copies of her books at Ren fairs because that's the audience that's going to go after her books.
Yep.
And she dresses up and goes out and has a blast, and why not? But yeah, like Rick's saying, genre and audience is super important.
Knowing the demographic that reach your work and the events that ties in can be very successful in building your brand. Right. Mm-hmm. That is correct. Ren fairs.
Oh. Renaissance fairs. So essentially people who want to pretend that they live in Wales and Scotland and Ireland and merry old England, dressing up in chainmail and corsets and what have you, and walking around talking about ye good olden days. You can look it up. I have yet to go to one because, Paul's learning that I'm really not as cultured as I try to be. There is one that's local-ish to me, but it's never at a good time, and there's sometimes you will find some folks dressed as
stormtroopers wearing kilts is my favorite.
Yeah, stormtroopers wearing kilts, or you'll find like Star Trek folks who are like on the away mission.
Yes.
But my favorite counter to that is the person who's completely kitted out in their Ren Fair garb, and they find them and they flash a badge. It's like, what are you doing violating the Prime Directive? How dare you? And pretty much chastising them for trying to be cute when no, it's not cute. So Wales on a normal Saturday night. Yes. Yes.
I somehow doubt you're that backwards, Matt. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Anything.
But again, he is in Wales, so there's still dragons running around.
Mm-hmm.
The locals tell me that's the case after they've had just a wee bit too much of the dram.
Nope, I'm fully convinced that where Matt is, there's just like every like block is just assigned a dragon, and you're supposed to keep an eye out for it. Just give people a heads up. There's smaller ones that roam around, get into the trash bins.
Do you actually have chainmail or a shirt with chainmail sleeves anyway? We'll see. You would be welcome.
You're just proving us right.
Pretty much. Do you have a claymore? And I don't mean what's in your pants.
I thought you said Claymore, not Dirk.
What?
Wow. Wow. Could have said penknife.
I could have said that. I have no video anymore because one of the cats unplugged me and I can't make it work again. So I am in the dark until I can reboot this blasted thing.
In the dark.
We apologize. Terry is speaking from the void.
That's Scottish. Oh, I forgot what is Scottish. Just remember that in Welsh, the word for dragon and mother-in-law are very similar. I wonder why.
And I'm sure that's not a coincidence either.
So which one gets into the rubbish bins then?
Oh boy, the cat's unplugged. Yeah, it's been that kind of episode for Terry. You should have seen during pre-show, he was practically throwing them away. He was just like picking one up, tossing it, picking up another one, tossing it.
That's what happens when I bring food to the table and they're like, oh, hey, is that for us?
Hey, human, hand it over.
Pretty much. So Matt doesn't have a claymore, but he does have a foil.
Oh, aristocrat. I see.
He gets smacked.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get in trouble.
Now I have a cat that's yelling at me. Great.
The thunder is here, so that means the rain is coming.
Here comes the rain.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the other song.
Well, I actually have an appointment with a audiobook narrator coach who does branding.
Okay, brand consultant.
Yeah, essentially a brand consultant to go look at my websites and kind of like check samples, but to see if what I am putting on my website and the stuff that I am advertising actually fits what I want to do. Because one of my thoughts is I'm not getting the work that I want, or any work at all, because the message that I'm putting out isn't very clear. Because I look like a soccer mom.
Obviously, you need more leather.
My pseudo has those. There are definitely different pictures on her
Veronica
site.
just needs to wear, the Veronica persona, I'm going to get in so much trouble, needs to look like a librarian with the glasses and everything else and look more formal. Oh, God, she's probably got them. I was going to say
somewhere.
I was going to say the only problem with that is the people who enjoy teacher porn might be drawn to it. But maybe if they're going to buy audiobooks, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Are we saying that that's actually a problem? Because, when it comes to marketing, sex sells.
This is true.
But here's the thing. If I'm going to do I need to, the challenge is I need to do whatever to get the nerdy stuff, and I don't look nerdy enough.
I
look like a
nerd. You can probably fix that.
I probably can, but I need to figure out how. And then with my pseudo, it's figuring out how to tweak stuff there to make it work.
If
but
V does it, Paul needs
new pictures.
If V does it, Paul needs to do it as well. Yes. The red dress, I'm not wearing the red dress.
I totally think
and unfortunately, the red dress doesn't fit right now. So we have those.
It sure as hell doesn't fit me. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Rip, pop, pop. Oh, what a dress it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's figuring out that branding, because I think a lot of people struggle with this. Like, you can help others, but trying to turn the mirror on yourself is a challenge. Because I know what I sound like. And the other bit is sometimes, like, the great things that come like off the top. I told one person, well, yeah, I look like a soccer mom, but I've had the blush burned out of my cheeks by reading erotica for 19 years. And she looked at me and she goes, why don't you lead with that? And I went, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, but people are going to stop and listen.
Yes, they are.
Huh.
Yes, they are.
Crap. I hate it when more people are right. It means I got to work.
Okay, the thunder is definitely here.
I was about to say, or a cat was like standing up and getting ready to like get you.
No, but he's looking over at the window like, what the hell was that, Dad?
A $1.6 billion industry?
I think she's talking about porn.
Oh,
or
probably.
erotica rather. I'd be surprised if it's that low.
One word. Turducken.
If you haven't seen our Discord, you should go to our Discord and watch the memes, because Terry's posted a good one.
So does that qualify as a wide shoes or a harem? I don't know which.
Smut in general, erotica. Okay.
Yeah.
1.6 billion. Okay, I guess I am surprised it's low. It's that low. I really am. Yes, now we're back to foul jokes. FOWL. Thank you, Rick. He's a bad man. He's a very bad man.
Indeed.
I think when I get some money, I will spend some money with an artist and try and figure out how to better brand what it is I write, which is difficult because far future sci-fi versus now sci-fi versus ancient history versus these space horror books. How the hell do you differentiate that and make it into one thing?
Yeah, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if I would not be surprised if someone recommended splitting some of those, because like they're so different.
Yep, they are.
And it's unlikely you're going to have that audience crossover. But at the same time, it's just splitting them on the website. I don't think you necessarily, I mean, they're out there. It's not like you're going to republish them under a pseudonym.
No, I separate them on the website. It's just a matter of trying to get the person who comes to the page at the first time to realize, okay, Paul writes space horror. He writes something akin to space opera. He writes this ancient history crap, of which there's only 2 books. And then he's got this smattering of space horror stuff that's not linked to any series. And then he's got, blah, blah, blah. How do you put all that together?
You just put menus by genre.
That's what I've got. But I would like a graphic when people come in there. I don't know what the right graphic is. Do I show a dead spaceman? Do I show a live, person in a spacesuit doing something? That kind of graphic thing. Stuff I need to figure out. And of course, to complicate things, the stuff I'm writing for Raventail has absolutely nothing to do with any of those genres, which is hilarious. Anyway, I'm not a simple man.
That is the understatement of the show, methinks.
I'm not that complicated, I promise. I'm not. My brain just goes in different directions, that's all. Terry is a simple man. Terry's a very simple man. Simple man with a simple plan.
So I think everybody...
I'm supposed to have a plan? Wait a minute, hold on.
Don't believe anybody who tells you they have a plan. They're either channeling Pinky in the brain, or they're channeling Baldric from Blackadder. And in neither case is that going to be good.
No. So this reminded me of a conversation I had after Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm talking to my sister-in-law, who is lovely. Honestly, one of my favorite people. And she is a reader. Like, she is a voracious reader. Her living room has it's almost like a shrine to her Stephen King books. It is. She has gone on vacations to Maine to see one of his houses. She's gone to the Overlook motel. Yeah, The Shining. She's checked out that space. She's a diehard. And I was talking about writing, and she said, well, so what are you doing next? And I was like, well, I've got this idea and I'm trying to work on this trilogy, and that'll take next year. And she goes, oh, well, do you have another idea after that? And I think every author can commiserate when I looked at her and said, my brain doesn't stop. I have ideas for the next 20 years. It is just a case of sitting down and figuring out what to pick and where to go.
Yep.
Because there will never be a shortage of ideas. And she looked at me like, really? And I'm like, That's how writer brain works. It does not shut up. It just
Pretty much.
keeps giving. It's like, what about this? That's cool. Ooh, that's shiny. And you're just frantically trying to like Post-its and index cards and the corkboard of your brain going, hang on to that, hang on to that, hang on to that.
It's the gift that keeps driving you insane. It's wonderful.
It is. It is.
On that note, we should probably bring this to a close. If you have a comment or question about this episode, you can go to deadrobotssociety.com, punch that contact button, and send us an email. You can find our link to Discord in the show notes, and you're welcome to join our wonderful community of crazy things, cat pictures, and actually some interesting conversations about genre and etc. They do happen. So
and good scientific articles.
And good scientific articles. Come join us. We'd love to have you. And if you want to find this episode, other episodes, you can go to youtube.com/DRS podcast, where we are live every Saturday at 3 p.m. CST, except when we're not. Like and subscribe so you know when we're live. And of course, we do have this thing called a podcast. You should also check that out too. If you go to deadrobotsociety.com, you can subscribe to us there and get us through iTunes and all those other wonderful little thingies. And if you want to support the show, you can find us at patreon.com/DRS podcast and buymeacoffee.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive live shows like the one that's coming up in just about 9 minutes. And at the $10 level, you get your name read. And our $10 patrons are Juan Valentin, James Terrell, Antoine Batts, Lisa Slack, and Tim Niederreiter. Thank you to all of our patrons for helping us pay our StreamYard bills. We appreciate it. With that, we are going to get out of here. One day soon, Terry might have video again.
It's a lie.
I do know a lot of people are, their screens are no longer breaking. So there is that.
Really?
Yeah.
The kinder thing would have been we're like no longer contributing to the cat drinking game, because at this point livers are going to be non-existent.
Saving lives one computer fault at a time.
The truth is, folks, is this camera committed suicide. On that note, we are out of here. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. Thank you for visiting with us, making it fun. We'll see you next week.